Yo, what's up and welcome back. Yo, that sounded weird. Yo, what's up and welcome back to another video. You may or may not realize it, but there's a lot that goes into making these videos. You get to see it when it's done, but there's a long process before we get to that point. Everyone has their way of doing it, but today I thought I'd show you mine. Cool? Let's do it. When I started this channel 6 months ago, I had never made a video worth sharing before. The first videos on this channel were my introduction into video production. I did, however, go to college for audio engineering, and I've written and recorded music in the past, so the idea of creating something that has a lot of layers to it is not a new concept to me. Since those first videos, I'd like to think that I've gotten better at the process, and I've kind of found my groove. But this video isn't going to teach you specific ways to make better videos. If that's what you're looking for, there are plenty of awesome videos out there. Some of them are even made by some of my friends. What this video is going to do is show you my specific process, my personal process. So how does it all happen? You did ask, right? Okay, maybe you didn't ask, but just humor me. The process is pretty interesting. It all starts with an idea. Groundbreaking, I know. Anytime I have an idea for a video, I write it down. For a bit, I was using this organizer that my wife got me, but lately this mostly happens in the Notes app on my phone. If I don't write things down immediately, chances are it's gone forever. Every video idea goes into a list. Good, bad, it doesn't matter. I write it down. When it comes time to make a video, I go through this list and pick something I want to do. These ideas come from topics I think about, products I see that interest me, and comments left on the videos with questions or suggestions. Once I have an idea I feel good about, I go into research mode. Sometimes this research is based on my own experience on the job, and it's a matter of collecting my thoughts and putting it down on paper. Other times, this means I'm searching online for information or reading studies and journals. If the video is related to a company or product, I'll begin emailing them about the idea I have to gauge their interest or to request an item to review. Another form of research I'll do is searching the topic on YouTube to see what is out there already. I do this for a couple reasons. I don't want to commit to making a video about a subject unless I truly feel like I can do a better job than what's out there already. Otherwise, what's the point? I want to be able to bring the information to you in my own way, and I also want to avoid being redundant. If you search for a topic online and I've made a video about it, I want to make sure that it is the best video available on that subject. To create content, you have to consume content. I want to see what works for other people. I want to see what I like and what I don't like, and then reflect those things in my content. Once I have all the information, I start writing out key points. Think of this as making an outline for the video to make sure I hit all the main points of the subject. Again, my memory is trash. If I don't do this, I'll probably forget half of it. This may even include phrases or sentences that I want to use because I think they explain something really well. I know some people can just sit down and start talking, but I am not one of those people, which leads me to the next step, which is writing a script. Maybe this surprises you and maybe it doesn't, but I write a script for just about every video I make. I've tried sitting down and just talking, and sometimes for some videos that's what I do, but more often than not, that method just leads to me rambling, or I'll say something in a way that would have just been better if I had thought about it and written it down. For a video where I'm giving my first impression on something, then I don't write a script because that wouldn't make any sense. But go back and look at those videos and notice how many cuts there are just so my communication is clear and concise and to the point. It's a pain to edit and the end product isn't as good, but that doesn't mean that everything I say is strictly limited to the script. I leave myself room to improvise and come up with different ways to say something. The way it usually goes is I will sort of memorize a few sentences, then repeat those sentences over and over until I get it right. Sometimes I may not recite the sentence word for word, but I will rephrase it in a way that feels natural and still gets the point across. I do this again and again, a few sentences at a time until I reach the end of the script. Decent editing is what makes this method possible, and the end result is what you've seen on the channel so far. When I write out these scripts, I also include certain camera shots that I want to make sure to get. It's like I'm seeing the video in my head, and if I think of a way that I want to show that, I make sure to write it down. Nothing's worse than getting halfway through an edit and realizing you never got footage of something you needed. The room I record everything in is not very big. It may seem that way because I use a wide-angle lens, but space is limited. Usually my desk is set up for streaming. The lights are in place for that, and so is my camera. But when I record a YouTube video, I pretty much need to rearrange all of it. The lights need to move, I need to set up a tripod for my camera, and I also need to set up my microphone because I record my audio separately. Once everything is in place, this is usually when I start pacing around my house as if I have something else to finish, or scrolling around on my phone. But in reality, I'm just procrastinating and it's wasting time. I don't know what it is and I don't know why I do this, but it happens like every time. I sit down here, not even on a chair because I don't want the chair to cover up the background. Make sure that my framing is right, my mic isn't showing, and I just start talking. I go through the whole script, and depending on whether it's a good or bad day, this may take a while. For a few videos, I experimented with this teleprompter I have, and it definitely made the process way faster, but I felt like the energy in my presentation was off, and I noticed that you could tell I was reading because of the way my eyes were moving. So I've stopped using that. I always record stuff in the same order. First is the talking head stuff, which is this shot that you're used to, then B-roll, then anything I need to record my screen for. Now that I'm done with all the prep and filming, everything else is done on the computer. Editing is something that I've kind of come to love. I've really seen myself grow as an editor since I started this channel. I try more creative stuff, I edit faster, and the whole process has just been streamlined. A lot of this is thanks to a good friend of mine who also happens to be an amazing content creator and editor.
My name is Matthew Paquette, and 4 years ago, I was almost Whopper Wednesday.
Matt has taught me so much by teaching me different hotkeys or how to set up Adobe Premiere or tips on color grading. He's even made a lot of this information into videos, so if you're trying to become a better editor yourself, go check him out. I usually edit stuff in the same order that I filmed it, but because I do audio and video separately, at this point I need to sync my audio. To do this, I clap at the beginning of the video and use that to sync the two. I use that clap to sync the audio that came out of the camera with the audio that I'm actually going to use. Then it's just a matter of chopping everything up until it sounds like I can chain coherent thoughts together without taking a breath. Hotkeys are crucial here. Attention to detail and a sense of pacing helps a lot because even a brief pause can feel weird. It's something you may not realize immediately, but will just feel off when listening and watching. When the talking head stuff is all finished, I find places to add in B-roll to accentuate what I'm saying. The video is starting to resemble what it'll actually look like when it's finished, but there are some details that need to be added in. I'll watch the video through and look for places that I can add a zoom for comedic effect or emphasis. Then there's graphics and text. A lot of my videos have text as a secondary way to present information. So I look for places to add this in while trying to be careful not to overdo it. Graphics packs can help make the text look professional with animations and styles. We're getting close to the end of the edit, and the next step is simultaneously my least favorite and most favorite part, music. Music can completely change the mood of a video, and finding the perfect song can take forever. For my videos, I use Epidemic Sound. It's a service I pay for monthly so I can use music in my videos and on my stream without the fear of getting a copyright strike. You can browse by genre or mood, and there's a ton of music available. They even have sound effects, and also, yeah, this is where I add sound effects too. You can download the song in its entirety or download individual elements if you want to take something out. I usually go through their site looking for music, and I'll save anything I like in a playlist so that the next time I'm working on a video, I can go through the songs I know I like to pick the best one for the video. If you want to check it out, there's going to be a referral link in the description below. If you do sign up using that link, I'll get a free month, so you'll be supporting the channel. Did I just fit an ad in the middle of my video? I think I did. I'm a real YouTuber now. Editing music is fun until it's not. Most songs aren't long enough to match an entire video, but just looping a song over and over might sound weird, so I usually cut the song into its different parts and extend it by repeating those parts. I also mix the music so it's audible but not overpowering my voice. I record all of my videos at the moment with this Canon EOS R and a 16 to 35mm lens with an f2.8. If that means anything to you. This camera is capable of recording in something called C-Log, which is an intentionally flat color profile. Right out of the camera, it looks not so good if you've noticed, but that's intentional because you're meant to color grade and color correct it. And that's what I do next. Color correction and color grading. Because I film almost every video in the same spot with the same lights, this process doesn't take me nearly as long as it used to because I figured out something that works for this shot, and I can just use that preset as a starting point that's already 90% of the way to what I want. So when all of this is finished, the image goes from looking like this to looking like this. Pretty cool, huh? In the same way that I have to process my video to look better, I have to also process the audio to sound better. This is the sound straight out of the microphone with no processing at all. The process of tweaking my audio could take a long time. It could involve EQ, compression, filters, and so on. But I just do this. And then it sounds like what you're hearing now. These presets are something that I purchased from a YouTuber named Maddie Hapoya. It makes the process just so easy. Making a video is already complicated. I don't need to complicate the matter any more than I have to. And now the video's done. Sort of. Not really, but I wish. After one or two pass-throughs to spot any mistakes I might have missed, I export the video. I shoot all of my footage aside from B-roll in 1080p 24 frames per second, but I actually export at 4K, and that's because YouTube allows a higher bitrate for 4K footage. So I'm kind of tricking YouTube into allowing me to upload higher bitrate footage that looks better in the end. If none of this makes any sense to you, that's okay. It was totally over my head when I started as well. The point is, shoot 1080p, export 4K, video look good. If you're interested in my export settings, then pause the video here and copy it for your exports, then save it as a preset. By the way, did you know that I actually edit these videos on stream from time to time? If you want to see this process real time, then go follow me on Twitch where I stream 3 days a week. It's actually a lot of fun editing these videos on stream because people make suggestions and a lot of times I use those suggestions. So in a way, I feel like they must feel like they're part of the video, if that makes sense. I even have a channel point redemption where I'll hide your name in a video. It's a good time, so come check it out. Remember when I said editing music can be the worst part of this process? Well, I lied. Making a thumbnail is by far my least favorite part of this process. I hate it and I suck at it. Sometimes, just sometimes, I make something that I'm actually proud of, but most of the times it's an absolute struggle for me, and sometimes it's even harder than coming up with a video idea in the first place. But it must be done, and it must be done well, because if you don't make a good thumbnail, no one is clicking on that video, except for maybe your mom. But just so you know, she's doing it in the same way that she put your crappy kid drawing on the fridge. It's not because it was good, it's because she loves you. The upload process on YouTube is more than clicking upload. Things must be done on this end, such as coming up with a catchy title, adding cards and end screens, adding the video to playlists, writing a video description, figuring out what tags you want to use, adding timestamps and scheduling the video for release and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of stuff. All this stuff's probably not as important when you're a big channel, but as a small channel, I'll use any feature to get an advantage. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but I can tell you one thing, it's not gonna hurt. Well, actually, timestamps hurt. Timestamps are actually terrible for a channel's analytics and watch time, but the audience really likes it. So for the time being, this channel will use them for now. Once the video's live, I'll promote the hell out of it on my social media without coming off as too spammy, because nobody likes that. I'll hope that the video does well, I'll read and reply to comments, and I'll just start the process all over again for the next week's video. This process is long as hell and it is a ton of work, but it is one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life. If you've made it this far, then thank you very much, and let me know what you think of the process in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, then maybe do that. Or not. I don't know, it's your life. I don't want to tell you what to do, but personally, I think you should. Peace!